Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another Monday motivation episode of Basketball Body and Mind. Today, the topic is what I hear very often head coaches are asking young players to do, and maybe not all of you are doing. However, everyone dreams about signing the contract, playing for a living, maybe living abroad, or maybe your home country, playing basketball, just doing that. So you have to be in shape, and head coaches want you to be in shape. And most of the times, what they really mean is conditioning, the ability to play both ends on the floor, on the court, and also in between. What I mean is, like, you have to play harder, longer, press, full court, every single possession. So this is what usually head coaches are asking young players to do. But imagine you are given a chance to go to train with the senior team, but your conditioning isn't great. After pressing someone, the best, let's say, point guard of the team, of senior team, you are like pressing them for a couple minutes and you're like gassed out. Trust me, the head coach will be not very happy that you are gassed out after a couple of minutes and you ask for a sub. That will definitely minimize your chances to move to the next level. However, what is interesting is that many of you, I'm not saying all, but many of you do not like to run, do not like to condition yourself. What if that is holding you back? What if you were giving that possibility, as I was talking previously? You guys love to shoot. Maybe some of you like to do some weight room stuff. But when it comes to running, pressing, full court, pushing others, running fast and hard, that burns your legs, you guys skip. But why? This is how you improve. And I believe quite often it is big separator between players who are moving up or who are going down or staying where they are. So let's talk about conditioning. I believe that there is not only, let's call it only physical conditioning, meaning like how hard, how much you can sustain those sprints and jumps. What is your body's capability? What is your heart capability? The cardiovascular system, your, let's say, endurance system. But also there is movement efficiency. How well do you actually run? How well do you decelerate, accelerate, change of direction? Are you all over the place that you are running, I don't know, like a weirdo, and that's why it costs you more energy than it should, and that's why you are, let's say, out of shape? But actually it's not because your physical abilities are limiting you, but maybe it's your movement not efficient capabilities are limiting you. And last part is mental conditioning. How much are you able to push yourself with feeling that burning sensation in your legs? Of course, it will be easier to push yourself when you have a coach shouting, or there are fans, or it's important game. You need to learn to train that when you are alone, when you are by yourself. Because many times when you will be training, you will be just by yourself. So remember, there are 3 types of conditioning: physical conditioning, meaning your heart, all the system of your body; then movement efficiency, how well do you run, decelerate, accelerate, change of direction; and also your mental part of conditioning, how well you can, or how much you can sustain that burning sensation. And why conditioning matters is on defense, if you're tired, you cannot move fast. You cannot react fast to the opponent's movements, so you will not be defending well. On offense, when you are tired, your shot will be off. Your handles will be sloppy. You will not be making those, maybe shots will be short, maybe they will be too strong. Your handles will be also terrible. You will not be protecting the ball. Your decision making will be breaking down, will be bad passes. Maybe you will be fouling people, and that will lead to you like going in that negative down spiral. And most importantly, your injury risk will increase. Poor landings. Maybe if you were not that tired, your body would be, let's say, it automatically paying attention to how you land. But since you are tired, your body just wants to land. Doesn't care how. And you land, tweak your ankle just because you are gassed out. Your reaction time will be slower, definitely. Paying attention to where you want to plant your foot will be off. So planting on someone's foot will increase significantly. So that is why conditioning is important, and staying in a sharp, strong, and let's call it useful for basketball shape will be very, very important. And in basketball, you need to have three types, let's call it, of conditioning, meaning that you want to be able to have short burst like sprints, cuts, jumps. Like short meaning like 1 to 5 seconds. And you want to do that multiple times, many times over the game. But also sometimes you don't need to only sprint to one end of the floor, but maybe you need to go back and forth on the court. So that is repeated effort that maybe it will last like 30 seconds, maybe up to 1 minute when your legs are burning a lot. And last conditioning is your game length conditioning, let's call it. It's like 40 minutes. You need to be able to do that for 40 minutes, of course, with the breaks. So these three types of conditioning that we want to work. So whenever you do conditioning, I will give you some simple ideas what you can do for conditioning, and you can a little bit play around with creating your own drills. But every conditioning drill you do, if you want to be ready for basketball, it will need to include running, cutting, backpedaling, changing direction, jumping, accelerating, all of these, just like in a real game. Sometimes shuffling, everything, what you can think of. Of course, it would be best if you could do basketball specific conditioning and play basketball. Maybe coach can give you harder conditioning drills, harder basketball drills that will improve your conditioning, such as maybe you are doing shooting session, but every two misses, you just run down and back the court. Just one example. So in order to improve conditioning, first of all, you need to measure it. And there are many different ways to measure your conditioning, because if we are not measuring, we will be guessing whether we are getting better or not. A couple of tests that are popular in basketball top leagues are beep test or 30-15 test. Those tests are that you are running for 30 seconds and then for 15 seconds you are resting. Then next 30 seconds you are running at higher speed and then resting for 15. Then again running for 30 seconds at even faster speed, and so on. If you need more information, Google it, like a beep test for basketball, and you will find many things. But what you can do on the court, there are three types of conditioning drills that I used quite often with basketball players. So one is 10 court sprints, separated by 2 minutes rest in between. and you are doing that for 5 times. Okay, maybe I would not start with the first training session of doing that 5 times. Maybe I would start with 3. And then next week I would do 4. And then on the third week I would do 5. So how it looks, you run 10 times baseline to baseline. And as soon as you finish, you check your time. How many seconds did it take you to run those 10 chords? And then you rest for 2 minutes. Then second time, you are running again 10 chords and measuring how many seconds it took you to run those 10 chords. And you do that for 3, 4, or 5 times. And you look at the average, how long did it take you to run in average, and also combine all of those times, sum up, and see how many seconds total did it take you to run those 5 times 10 chords. So if you can run under 60 seconds and you are guard or small forward, that is a good result. If you are center or like number 4, 5, so then 62 seconds in average would be a good place. So no matter where you are, start from there and just keep improving. Second test that you can do on basketball court is called 17s. So it's being done on sidelines. So you're running sideline to sideline and you run that for 17 times. So you do that for 17 times, rest 2 minutes, and then repeat 2 or 3 times. So you're running 17s, 2 minutes rest, 17, 2 minutes rest, and 17. Same. Track the time each time you are running, and guards should be doing that 60 seconds in 60 seconds or less, and bigs would be 62 seconds. But here also, combine all these times and calculate how well you did in all combined and improve also from there. And last test is 3-minute run. You're running baseline to baseline for 3 minutes nonstop. I would recommend record this with your camera because you don't want to miscount, because this drill is hard. So you just put a camera, record how many times you will cover. You don't have to count them when you are running. You just need to count them after you finish, so you can focus on running. And 26 or more is a good result, is very good result. Record is 29. I'm talking about European chords, not NBA. So also keep in mind that sometimes if that is a smaller gym, you might be getting to 32 and you will be, oh my God, I'm in the best shape, I'm elite. But actually the court is just smaller. So pay attention to the court. How to improve your conditioning? You can use the same tests as the training sessions. So for example, after the practice, you choose one of those tests, that's exercises as we're doing as a test. So you do that after the training session. For example, after the training session, you feel it was super hard. And instead of doing 5 times 10 chords, maybe you do 2 or you do 1 because you're super tired. Or maybe you do, instead of 3 minutes, you do 2 minutes of running. So based on how tough the practice was, you do that many that hard conditioning drills. Next thing, what you can do is you can do skill plus conditioning. So you add conditioning, as I was saying previously, to your shooting or to your dribbling drills. For example, every 2 misses in a row, you sprint down and back the basketball court. Or you rebound your own shots, and maybe for like minute and a half or 90 seconds, you are doing it fast. You run to the ball if you missed or if you made. You grab your own rebound, you don't walk, you sprint to the 3-point line or mid-range shot, and you are just doing that for 90 seconds. So this way you will be training your skills under fatigue, which is very, very important. Next thing, how you can improve your conditioning, and I believe that is one of the best ways, is play harder in practices. Full court press, sprint harder. When you are running into offense, into defense, you just think that, okay, I'll sprint faster, and you sprint faster. You bump harder. You do extra runs, like you're trying to get open. You don't just stand and wait for ball to come to you. No, you are doing everything what you can in order to improve conditioning. And I believe actually that this is the best way to improve conditioning, through playing basketball. Then can be a micro habit, such as soon as the coach calls like a water break, you go to the baseline and you run 2 times, maybe like four chords, so 2 times down and back, and then you go to the to grab your water. It can be something like that if you don't have time after the training session. And last thing, how you can improve your conditioning: do that to your teammate, but also ask your partner to push yourself, to do the full court press. When you pick the basketball, he is next to you. His hand is in your face, pressing hard, bumping, fouling, and you don't complain. You just say, thank you. Thank you for making me better. Of course, it will be uncomfortable. Of course, you will be not happy. Of course, it will drive you mad. But this is how you can build not only conditioning, but also character, I believe. So conditioning is not built in one workout. It's built over time. As always, consistency is the key. So my challenge to you is pick one conditioning test. Do it once, record the time, and then after 3 weeks, do the same test again. But of course, in between, you need to do one of those 5 drills, okay, to improve your conditioning. Track it. I promise you, you will see the progress. You will get better. It's not possible for you to put the work in and not to get better. It's impossible unless you're doing it half-ass. If you are putting the real work, you will get the real results. It will show up on the basketball court. And when that opportunity comes to show up to the senior team, you will be ready. It will be no excuses. So thank you for listening again to this Monday motivation episode of Basketball, Body, and Mind. Click like, share it, send it to a friend, and keep training basketball, body, and